Year A Lesson 18, A Hardened Heart. Monday's lesson is entitled Stubborn King. Memory Verse. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Our Bible reference is found in Exodus chapter 5 verse 4 to chapter 6 verse 13 and chapter 7. The Israelites had been in Egypt about 215 years, and they had been slaves through much of that time. In those years of cruel bondage, very little about God's law had been passed along from parents to their children. Most of them didn't even keep the Sabbath, although there were some faithful ones who taught the Egyptians about God. When Moses returned to Egypt, he taught the Israelites the importance of obeying God's law, and many, if not most of them, started keeping the Sabbath. That's why Pharaoh scolded Moses and Aaron for taking them from their work and making them rest. The Israelites made bricks of clay mixed with chopped straw to help it bind together, and dried them in the sun. The straw had been supplied, but now Pharaoh said they must gather the straw themselves and still make as many bricks as before. Officers of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, Thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where you can find it, yet not aught of your work shall be diminished. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, Fulfill your works, your daily task, as when there was straw. This additional task was intended to force them to work on Sabbath in order to make the required number of bricks. When they complained, Moses reminded them that God said he would deliver them from slavery. But they were so discouraged, they didn't believe him. Exodus chapter 6 verses 6 and 9. Verse 6. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. Verse 9. And Moses spake so unto the children of Israel, but they hearkened not unto Moses for anguish of spirit, and for cruel bondage. When Moses and Aaron went back to Pharaoh and he demanded a sign to prove God's power, what happened? Exodus chapter 7 verses 10 to 13. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, now the magicians of Egypt. They also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. Was Satan able to change those magicians' rods into live serpents? No, only God can create life. But Satan can do magic that deceives people, and that's what happened that day. When Aaron's rod swallowed the magician's rods, Pharaoh thought that Moses and Aaron somehow just did better magic than his magicians could do. Then God began sending disasters or plagues to Egypt. The first plague was on the Nile River, which the Egyptians worshipped. Its water turned to blood. All its fish died, and it stank. The magicians seemed to turn water to blood too, and Pharaoh just became more stubborn. For a whole week, the people had to dig by the river to get water they could drink. Exodus chapter 7 verses 20 to 25. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded, and he lifted up the rod, and smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that the Lord had smitten the river. Let's apply it. Do you think that Pharaoh wanted to obey God, or was he looking for an excuse to disobey?